Hi, everyone. Welcome to our webcast this afternoon, Highlights of River Cruising. My name's Brian Murray. I'm the Director of Travel here at AAA, and I'm delighted you're spending some time with us today. You know, this COVID-19 pandemic has hit the world so hard, and one of those areas is the travel industry. There have been a lot of many disappointed travelers this spring and summer vacations that have either been canceled or postponed. But you know, we're resilient and we'll get through this pause together. What we want to do today is share some great information about travel. And while we aren't just ready to travel yet, we do want to help you dream about the next vacation and inspire you to think about the possibilities. I want to share with you that you're all in listen only mode. However, if you do want to ask any questions, please feel free to type them in the question box and we'll be happy to entertain them at the end of the program. If we don't get to every question, don't worry, we will reach out and address all of your questions after the program. So I also want to offer to all the participants on the webcast today a $100 booking incentive if a new reservation is made by the 22nd of May as a result of this program. So I'm really excited. We're going to talk about river cruising and all of the excitement that has to offer. So let's get going. I'd like to welcome Donna Nightingale, our Business Development Manager for Viking Cruises. Donna, thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me, and hello, everyone. Thank you for being here today. And I hope you're all doing well during this crazy time and staying healthy. Thank you, Brian and AAA, for inviting me, and I'm very excited to introduce you to some new itineraries that Viking has. We were sitting around and we were discussing, socially distancing, of course, we were discussing new itineraries, and we thought maybe people were sitting home and this would be a good time to show them off. So we're going to talk about the new Viking Mississippi product and the Great Lakes. So we will focus on that today. Just to give you a little background on me, I am the Director of Business Development for Viking. I've been at Viking for 9 years now, after having worked in the world of big cruise ships for over 20 years. And about 10 years ago, I went on a river cruise on the Danube and fell in love with small ship cruising. So I had to change jobs as I wanted to be involved in this type of travel. So I'm pleased, very pleased today to introduce a new modern way to explore the Mississippi and Great Lakes. And I will tell you, for the last 9 years, I've probably been asked for the Mississippi every single solitary day I've worked here. So this is very fun and exciting to show it to you. So we're going to get going. And first, we're going to talk about the Mississippi, then we'll go over to the Great Lakes. And as many of you probably know, we invented the concept of modern river cruising when we started 23 years ago. First on the rivers of Russia, and then we moved into Europe with all brand new ships. Since then, many people have come to appreciate this unique type of exploration with river cruising. And but really there wasn't very much, very few options really on the American rivers. So here we are, very happily presenting this to you. These ships will start to sail in 2022, but they are available for booking now. So the Mississippi is 2,000 miles long. We will visit 7 states on all our different itineraries. We have 4 different itineraries. And there's 3 things that really define Viking as a company. We are all about the destination, the culture, and the small ship experience. So the Viking philosophy is that we won't be everything to everybody. We focus on English speaking because we'd like to have one language on board. So we only really market in the US, Canada, the UK, Australia, New Zealand. And we basically sort of focus our marketing to mature people that have an interest in history, culture, arts, and geography. We are very highly inclusive and we're efficient, and we hire the best staff in the industry. We're known as the thinking person's cruise. We do many lectures on the ships and offer materials prior to sailing on our website. We do not have a casino, a rock climbing wall, an ice skating rink, or kids on the ships. Our ship is really the focus is really the destination and the area that you're going to. So this ship is designed to sail the Mississippi. It takes into account the local climate, bridge heights, water levels, local landscapes. The ship has a Scandinavian design, just like our river and ocean ships, if you've been on those. And what does that mean? That means nice clean lines, soft colors, marbles, woods, and a lot of windows for viewing and appreciating the great outdoors. So the Viking inclusive value is the same on all of our ships, whether you're on the rivers in Europe, the ocean ships, or our expedition ships, Arctic and Antarctic. We offer the same thing on all itineraries and all ships. So that includes one shore excursion in each port, all meals on the ship, wine, and then that's breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, everything. Wine, beer, soft drinks with lunch and dinner, bottled water all the time, specialty coffees and teas. Wi-Fi is included, and all the port charges and government taxes are included in the price of the cruise. So there's no extras when you're booking this. So let's just discuss the shore excursions for a moment. The shore excursions included in every port. It could be a half-day tour, it could be a full-day tour. We always have the Quiet Vox headsets. That's a receiver with 2 earbuds so that you can sync up to the tour guide and you can hear them if you're walking down the street, if you're in a cathedral, whatever, you can hear them. At the end of the day, you take that receiver back to your stateroom, there's a charger, and then you use it again, you bring it with you again the next day. So in talking about these shore excursions, we really like to have a focus on the local life, the working world, and privileged access to some events that you could go to. And this is the same across all of our ships. In this itinerary, even though it's not sailing till 2022, we do have a little bit of information for you already. So to give you a few examples of the local life, we will visit the John Deere Pavilion and John Deere Family Homes up in the Quad Cities. We'll also take you to a beautiful historic homes and plantations along the rivers, and also to a chef-hosted luncheon at the famous restaurant 1818 in Natchez. And just to give you a couple ideas there, working world, we will visit an operating dairy farm. I can tell you I went to college in Nebraska, and a lot of my friends grew up on dairy farms. It's fascinating. It's sort of like walking into another world if you never grew up on a working dairy farm. We will also visit Anheuser-Busch Brewery in St. Louis, Missouri. And then we go to privileged access. So we are Viking, we are Norwegian, and therefore we take you to the Norwegian American Museum, and that's called the Vestaheim. And you can see the experience the Norwegians had immigrating to America. And we also have a Cajun heritage tour in Baton Rouge. So we do a lot of different things that we really want to just showcase this area and hopefully give you the best experience you can have. And we also want to have something for everyone. We realize everyone doesn't all have the same interests, so it's kind of a nice way to offer this to everyone. So let me introduce you to our beautiful Viking Mississippi. And she carries 386 guests and has 193 staterooms. They're all outside staterooms. Again, as I said, featuring Scandinavian design. She's currently under construction in Louisiana. The ship will be the largest and the most modern cruise ship in the region. There's 5 decks, and the itinerary will again start sailing in 2022. But you can book it now, which is a really good idea. So we're going to talk about the destination and the itinerary first, and then we'll move on to onto the pictures of the ship. So there's 4 itineraries that we have on this Mississippi. So you can see right here on the map, there's 3 8-day itineraries and 1 15-day. So they sort of show you where they are. There's 2 on the lower Mississippi, that would be the Southern Celebration and the Heart of the Delta. And then there's 1 that's in the northern part, which is America's Heartland. And then there's a 15-day, which does St. Paul all the way down to New Orleans. Here's a breakdown of all the itineraries for you. And you'll see first is Heart of the Delta, New Orleans to Memphis for 8 days, 5 ports with guided tours. The next 8-day is Southern Celebration. This would be New Orleans to New Orleans round trip, and it gives you an overnight in New Orleans. The next one is America's Heartland. This is St. Louis to St. Paul for 8 days, 6 ports and guided tours. And then last you have the 15-day, which is St. Paul to New Orleans, 11 ports with guided tours. So we're going to first show you the Heart of the Delta. I'm not going to go through all these itineraries one by one because we'd be here too long. But just to give you an idea, this is New Orleans to Memphis. On this itinerary, which is called Heart of the Delta, you'll visit Louisiana, Mississippi, and you'll end up in Memphis, Tennessee. The next one is America's Heartland. So here you will visit Missouri, Iowa, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. The third 8-day cruise we have is called Southern Celebration. And this is round trip New Orleans. You'll visit Louisiana and Mississippi. And now we move on to the 15-day, which is America's Great River, St. Paul to New Orleans. Gives you 11 guided tours. The good news is that it's very popular. The bad news is this one is sold out. So I just want you to know what it is. We will be adding more sale dates hopefully shortly, but it's not available at the moment because that one sold out so fast. We were amazed. So I wanted to just give you an idea of some of the stops that we go to, just to give you an idea so you can really see what we're going to do in different places. Here is one. This is La Crosse, Wisconsin. And what happens is you get up in the morning, you would have your breakfast, and then you would meet your tour guide and for your tour. So you're going to explore La Crosse. This is where 3 rivers meet here at Riverfront Park. I've been here. It's a beautiful, beautiful city. It's almost like an open air museum to me. And it has numerous sites on the National Registry of Historic Places, and we give you a panoramic tour of the city, and we take you to see all these architectural landmarks. Right along the river, there's all these statues that line the waterfront, and then after that, we'll take you up to Grandad Bluffs, and then you have a scenic view of 3 states, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Iowa. This is also where we take you to the Vesterheim, and that's where you relive the Norwegian immigration experience, if you're interested in that. Moving on, another stop that we will go to is the Quad Cities, Iowa. Here we include a tour of the John Deere Pavilion. The John Deere Pavilion was created as a celebration of John Deere and their architectural heritage. And then we take you to the John Deere family homes. Another stop that's very popular is Hannibal, Missouri. And this is best known as the birthplace of Mark Twain and the setting of his Adventures of Tom Sawyer and the Adventures of Huck Finn. And you'll hear all the stories and the sights, and you'll Mark Twain's days when he lived in Hannibal, and you'll hear about Tom Sawyer, Huck Finn, Becky Thatcher, and Injun Joe. Remember that? The included tour is it's called The World of Mark Twain. So you walk in the footsteps of Tom Sawyer and Huck Finn, and you'll see the town and his childhood home where he was born and raised, and basically where he got the inspiration for most of his novels. Another stop that we have is St. Louis, Missouri. And we explore St. Louis with an included panoramic tour of the city. It's known as the Gateway to the West, and it's home to a diverse array of beautiful architectural buildings. Among them, there's the Cathedral Basilica of St. Louis. It has a 41 million piece mosaic. They have a Renaissance Revival Hall and a 19th century old courthouse. Of course, the beautiful arch and a ride along Market Street. There's 2 optional excursions that I know of already here. The first is a tour of the Anheuser-Busch Brewery, and the second is the National Blues Museum, and that celebrates blues as the foundation of all modern American music. Next, we'll move on to another stop we have on our itineraries is Memphis, and Memphis, Tennessee, known as the Queen of the South. Memphis is the birthplace of Memphis blues, which, if you maybe know or don't know, was popular in the vaudeville days in the early 20th century. Andrew Jackson co-founded the city in 1819, and it's a really strong commercial center in the South. But the greatest part of Memphis is, if you're my age, or because I'm in my 60s, we have an included tour that is so exciting. It's a deluxe Graceland tour. So you visit the famous estate of Elvis Presley. I would consider this a rock and roll pilgrimage, and you go see Graceland and all his memorabilia and just kind of feel immersed in Elvis's world. I think that would be really a neat optional excursion. And, oh, that's actually included, sorry. Next, we're gonna go to Vicksburg, Mississippi, and Vicksburg is full of Southern tradition. It's rich in history, especially the Civil War history. During the Civil War, Abraham Lincoln called it the key to the South, and the Battle of Vicksburg was fought here, and that's where the Confederates surrendered to Ulysses S. Grant. So it's a beautiful tour. It's a beautiful town. I've been there. It's been many years, but it's very beautiful. Then another stop that we go to is Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and that's set on the eastern banks of the Mississippi. And this is the heart of Cajun culture, and the locals' favorite dish is gumbo. Hopefully we will not see that alligator. And the included tour here is the Baton Rouge Panorama, and you can go right up and see all the beautiful important sites, the new and old state capitals, the old governor's mansion, and they also give you a lot of history into the Cajun people and their contributions to Louisiana's history and culture. There is an optional tour there that's a Cajun heritage tour, and it features the Cajun culture, music and folk tales, and it takes you to the Rural Life Museum. And you also can try some Cajun cuisine there. And of course, another stop, and it's also an embarkation or a debarkation port, depending on your itinerary. This is New Orleans, and this is founded in 1718 by French colonists. New Orleans, I always say, is where jazz and jambalaya mix, and it mixes with this French culture and this French character, and you have to have a beignet in Jackson Square, so it is just a lively, fun city that everyone should make sure you go to and see. All right, so that just gives you a little bit of an idea of what we're doing for itineraries. And now we're going to move on to the ship. And I am so excited to show the ship off. I can't believe it. I feel like a mother or something to everybody because I'm like so excited to show this off. It's like my baby or something like that. But it is a beautiful ship. And it's 5 decks high, and it's purpose-built for the Mississippi. It's currently under construction. As I said earlier, Scandinavian design. It's a beautiful ship, and I think it's going to change river cruising on the Mississippi in a big way. So let me show you a little bit of the ship. The first picture that I'll show you inside is the reception area. I usually do not show pictures of staircases, but I thought the backdrop to this was unique. On the wall behind the stairs is an excerpt of Mark Twain's famous Huckleberry Finn novel, and it's the backing of the 5-deck staircase. I thought that was quite clever and worth showing. So you can go read it if you want. The next picture is called the living room. So if you've ever sailed with us on our ocean ships, we have this concept on the ocean ships. It's a main gathering place for guests on deck 1. It's where you'll find small areas with couches. They're designed for socializing, relaxing, entertainment. We usually have a duo or a trio playing and snacks 24/7. So it's just a really lovely spot, and we have that on our ocean ships. And next, we're going to move on to food. So the first is the restaurant. This is our main dining venue. It's on deck 1, and the menus will change daily and feature regional cuisine and, then always available classics along with fresh vegetables and local vegetables. So it'll be quite nice and beautiful and relaxing. And then there's a second picture here just so I can show you that. And next we have the River Cafe, and this is up on the top deck. We'll serve American classics here. It's an indoor-outdoor dining area. And it's like an alternative restaurant, but it's outside. I've got one more picture of that. And then So beer and wine is included with lunch and dinner. And if you've ever been on our ocean ships, this reminds me a lot of our ocean cafe because there's a bar there. So the waiters come around and pour, of course, the wine and beer for you. But if you'd like, you can just go up to the bar and get that, or you can get something else, whatever you want, but the waiters are there to serve you. And then now we're going to move on to the Aquavit Terrace. That's a spot. We have an Aquavit Terrace on the river ships and the ocean ships in Europe, and it's really a spot that, I don't know, it's a public space that really everybody loves. And the Aquavit Terrace will be on the top deck. It'll have casual dining and regionally inspired barbecue cuisine and American fare. And I've got a second picture of that. I think nothing's better than sitting outside under the stars. And the weather should be nice and warm there because you're on the Mississippi in the south. Next, we're going to move on to the Explorer Lounge, which we have on our ocean ships, and it's very popular public space. It's a sun-filled 2-story Explorer Lounge. It has floor-to-ceiling windows, and they open to the bow. So you can see right in front of those like tan chairs, there's an outdoor area there. So that's an outdoor seating area in the front of the ship. So you can go right through to go out there if you'd like. And you can sit and enjoy the ever-changing views. There's a bar there too, so you can get an Coke, or you can get coffee, or you can get a beer or alcohol, whatever you'd like. But you can sit there during the day or at night. And I think there's nothing nicer than sitting and watching the view from a place like this. And I just wanted to show you the Sun Terrace. It has an infinity plunge pool. This is similar to on our ocean ships where we have the infinity pool on the top deck and the back. It's sort of like it has a glass back pool and the aft of the ship, and it allows you to take a dip and kind of feel like you're more immersed in the whole area. Maybe you feel like you were swimming in the river, which would be interesting. It's a beautiful spot on the back of the ship outdoors. Now we're moving on to the staterooms. So we have all outside categories. 7 different categories. The smallest is 268 square feet, and the largest goes up to over 1,000. All feature king-size beds, luxury linens, flat screen TVs that are interactive, mini bar, glass enclosed showers, heated bathroom floors, which we have on all of our ships, and 24-hour room service. So I thought I would just show you some of these pictures. So the first one you'll see is the French balcony. This is 301 square feet. We have 8 of these. The next category is the veranda and the deluxe veranda, and this is 268 square feet. And we have 128 of these. The next one we have is the penthouse veranda. 324 of these, 324 square feet, and we have 24 of these. The next one is the penthouse junior suite, and this is 400 square feet. We have 16 of these. So pretty, I think. And the next one is kind of a new category for us. It's called a terrace suite, and it's 425 square feet. We have 7 of these, but it has a sitting area, like a living area, and a dining area. It's got 2 flat screen TVs and a large deck outside. And all the guests that are in the penthouse junior suite or this terrace suite have early stateroom access, double bathroom sinks, mini bar with alcohol, beverages, soft drinks, water, snacks daily, and welcome champagne, laundry pressing, and shoe shine. And the last category to show you is the Explorer Suite. We have 10 of these, and depending on which one you have, they range from about 650 up to 1,000 square feet. And this has all those same amenities, and they have a complimentary silver spirits package. So that just gives you an idea of what we're doing on the Mississippi. I'm going to now move on to talk about the Great Lakes which is done on the expedition ships. So I'm going to show you the expedition ships for the simple reason that they are the ones doing the Great Lakes, but it sort of sounds like I'm talking about the Arctic and Antarctic, which is not a bad thing. But these are the ships that will be doing the Great Lakes. These also will start sailing in 2022 and are available for reservations now. So here's a picture of the ships that are being built, the Viking Octanus and the Viking Polaris. Very neat and very sleek. Okay, so these ships will have 378 guests. They have a very high crew to guest ratio, and the reason is we have a lot of extra specialists on. We have geologists, glaciologists, ornithologists, photographers for lectures and workshops. We have our regular crew, and then we also have crew to run the watercraft, which I'll explain in a minute. So just moving on, I'll show you the ship. This is the Atrium on deck 1. This is, you know, like where you can meet and meet people, and there's a bar there and food 24/7. And we have a living room on this also, but this is located high on the deck so that you can maximize your views. And they also have some music there, so you can listen to classical music or piano player. There'll be Nordic furnishings here, a library. So I think it's going to be a comfortable area, but also enriching. Now, next, I'm going to teach you a new word today, Aula. You'll see on the very top there. That is auditorium in Norwegian. And this is our auditorium. It's the most advanced venue for learning at sea. So the Aula is kind of a spectacular panoramic al fresco, believe it or not, auditorium. It's inspired by the University of Oslo. They have a ceremonial hall there, which was the former venue for the Nobel Peace Prize ceremony. So we'll have lectures and briefings and things like that in here. But the neat thing about this is that screen that you see in the front there, that retracts up into the ceiling. And then you have 270-degree views. And I have a really neat video. I just can't show it to you on a webinar. But this is the view from the other side. So as you're sitting there, that whole screen comes up and those glass panels open and you can sit there and have a view. That's amazing. So this outside area here is called the Finse Terrace, and it's a beautiful outdoor spot to sit. You get all these beautiful views. There's 2 heated lava stone fire pits to keep you warm. So I think it's a beautiful spot. And moving on, we have the Explorer Lounge. So that's, again, 2 stories, all the windows. It's just like the Mississippi ships, and it's a favorite spot. And it's a great spot to just sit and meet people and then take in the beautiful views. Again, we have an Aquavit terrace, so you can, there's a bar here, so you can get a little cocktail if you'd like to, and meet people. And next you have the indoor-outdoor pools. So this a trio of pools, 3 pools at different temperatures, and there's even an indoor-outdoor pass-through. And the heated main pool is, I think, perfect because it's the warmest, and it's, I think, calming in cold weather. So you can just sit there and relax in it. But there's also a retractable roof, so you can use it for year-round. And next is the Nordic Spa, which has those beautiful windows to the outdoors. So you can just relax and take in the scenery. There's floor-to-ceiling windows. There's a fitness center. In the fitness center, we'll have everything. Treadmills, ellipticals, bikes, weights. And we also have our signature snow grotto, which is, you can go in and get snowed on if you'd like to. But we also have a warming cave. So you can get snowed on and then go into the warming cave if you'd like to. And next you'll see Expedition Central. So one of the interesting things about this itinerary is our owner is concerned about the environment. So he has partnered with some research institutions, and he has invited them to be on the ships doing research while we're sailing. So if you're on there sailing as a passenger, you can partake in the research or just observe it or learn about it, whatever you'd like to do. they will be there, and I think that would be fascinating if you were interested in that. But this nice little area here is part of that, but it's also a great spot to go down, check your excursion, look at the landings, get answers to questions, you know, things like that. Now, the neat thing is the marina. So we have inside the ship, if you were going on shore and doing a landing, you don't have to climb over the side of the ship and, you know, like a tender would. You would just go down below in the ship and get on the watercraft there. So we have 16 Zodiacs, 17 kayaks, we have 2 ribs, and we have 2 yellow submarines, because our owner's favorite band is the Beatles. And you board your watercraft here, and then you slip away out the back. I think that's really neat. So we have crew that just handles that. The staterooms, we'll talk about that for a minute. And remember, this is all for the Great Lakes too. The staterooms, we did not do balconies because you're probably not going to be sitting out in the balcony. So they did floor to ceiling windows with beautiful couches in front of them. The top window does come down so that you can get some fresh air if you'd like to. This is a picture of the smallest stateroom at 222 square feet. And then the next one is the Nordic penthouse at 269. And next is the Nordic Junior Suite at 322 square feet. Then we have the Explorer Suite, that's 580 square feet. And then we have the Owner's Suite at 1,200 square feet. Has a beautiful little jacuzzi there on the deck. And in each of the staterooms, there's a floor-to-ceiling drying closet. So if you are doing a landing and your jacket got wet, you would come back and put it in your drying closet. I wish I had one of these at home, and it's a nice little extra. On the polar, not for the Great Lakes, but if you did Antarctic or Antarctic, everyone gets a jacket that they can keep. You can borrow on the ship boots, pants, poles, and we have some suggested gear to purchase. And here's the restaurant, main restaurant. Of course, they'll have regional cuisine and always available classics and beautiful views. We have our Manfredi's Italian restaurant, which we have on our ocean ships. They're known for their homemade pasta and their ribeye steaks. We have a World Cafe that's open all day, and it's kind of like a live cooking open kitchen. There'll be everything from seafood and sushi to a grill, and it's kind of a nice little experience in there. And as you can see in the middle, there's a sign for gelato, so I'm all in. And just because you're on, I'll just tell you there's 2 different itineraries for Arctic and Antarctic, and then I'll show you the Great Lakes itineraries. One is Ushuaia, round trip Ushuaia for 13 days. That's for the Antarctic. And then the Arctic is round trip Tromsø, Norway for 13 days. There's also a 44-day that goes Tromsø down to Ushuaia. Anyway, now we're moving on to the Great Lakes. So I wanted to show you the ship because those ships will be going up to the Great Lakes. And the Great Lakes, there's 5 Great Lakes between Canada and the US, largest freshwater ecosystem in the world, containing 20% of the world's fresh water, and provides drinking water to over 40 million people. Lake Superior is the largest, coldest, and deepest. So the Great Lakes tend to have a sea-like quality. They have waves, they have deep, strong currents. So these ships are really perfect for it. So the ship was designed to fit through the Welland Canal locks up in Ontario, and that makes exploring the Great Lakes possible. We have 4 itineraries on this, and the first one you'll see is a 13-day New York to Toronto, and the rest are 8-day itineraries. So the first 8-day itinerary is Toronto to Milwaukee. I love this one because it stops at Niagara on the Lake and Mackinac, of course, so it's a beautiful itinerary. And then we have Milwaukee up to Thunder Bay. And then our last one is Thunder Bay till Milwaukee, 8 days. So it gives you an idea of where we're going up there, and I wanted to show you the ships for that in case you wanted to stay, closer to home on your next trip. These are our scientific partners I had mentioned earlier: Scott Polar Group, NOAA, Cornell Lab of Ornithology, University of Cambridge. So we will be going to 7 continents and now 95 countries. So we're doing a lot of changes and making a lot of headway around the world to offer you some more new itineraries. Okay, so right now until May 31st, we have what's called the risk-free guarantee. And if you book by May 31st, you can change your cruise up to 24 hours prior to departure. That means if your cruise is on a Saturday and your flight's on a Friday, you'd have to change it by Thursday. And we would waive the cancellation fees, and then you would get a future cruise voucher to use. All you have to do is book it within 2 years. You don't have to sail then, you just have to book it. With AAA, they have a member benefit for the Mississippi and the Great Lakes, and that is $100 a person shipboard credit. If you were doing the rivers of Europe or our ocean ships, it's slightly higher depending on what you're booking. But this is what it is for Mississippi and Great Lakes. And this is the information for AAA. I think Brian's going to hop on right now, and if we have any questions.
Yeah, thank you, Donna. What a great presentation. And I got to tell you, those ships are absolutely gorgeous, and the itineraries even better. So, what a great way to see the U.S. Thank you for sharing that. We do have a couple questions that came in. One is regarding accommodations on the cruise ship. This was during the Mississippi portion, single accommodations, or do your cabins and staterooms allow for single passengers?
They're all designed for double occupancy. And we don't even take triple. It's all doubles, yeah.
Okay. On any of the itineraries, is there an opportunity for a pre or post stay before you leave or after you return debarkation and embarkation?
That's a great question. So we will be offering 1, 2, and 3 night extensions on either end. And so when we do our cruises, like in Europe, we can't do 1 night extensions. It always has to be 2 nights. So here in the United States or up in Canada, it's a little bit easier. So depending on the port, we will have 1, 2, or 3 night extensions available. Yes, definitely.
Perfect. And another question was on the Mississippi river boat. Can you review the staterooms that had the outside decks? There were a couple that had private decks there, if I remember correctly.
They all do, except for one that is the French balcony.
Okay. Perfect.
Yep, all categories. It's just the French balcony, which was the first one I showed, that has sliding glass doors. So you get the view and you get the air, you just can't step out, but you get a whole wall of windows and a door that opens so you can get fresh air. But all the other staterooms categories all have balconies that you can sit out on.
Perfect. So, well, I have to tell you that 15-day itinerary sold out. No wonder. It's a fabulous itinerary. All of them are, and I think that's a great way to see the U.S. and get the combination of seeing our own country and a wonderful river cruise experience. So, just a reminder to everybody. We are, again, with the member benefit, the $100 shipboard credit is offered, and we are offering a booking incentive if you make a new reservation by the 22nd of May. We're offering $100 for the booking as well. All of our offices, while we're closed to the public, our staff is working. Many of them have traveled with Viking around the world. It's a fabulous experience. And if anybody has any questions or wants to set up an appointment to talk about specific dates and availability, we're here and able to accommodate that. So with that, No more questions. Great job, Donna. Thank you so much. And
Thank you.
as I say, when the rivers and all the countries open up, we're ready to help you get there. So dream now, and we'll take care of getting you on your next vacation. Thanks, everybody, for joining us today.
Thank you very much.